I've had more of a history with Follow the Hawk where I could think that he might 4-bet bluff me or call my 3-bets very light, then I would be more inclined to 3-bet him. I'm going to go ahead and bet here for value against worse ace-high hands and potentially turn my hand into a bluff on some rivers to try to get him to fold a hand like pocket threes. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to check and assume that we're chopping a lot, or he has a hand like pocket sixes, and I lose. Okay. Interesting to note that he didn't bet when he had a gut shot. Not that I think his play is bad, but I think most players would just go ahead and automatically bet. Same reason I didn't bet the 10-8 on the Queen Jack 5 two flush flop earlier is the reason I like his play there. Because when you're betting so many draws that have good equity that can call check raises, you don't want to bet all of your draws that can't call check raises. And also you can represent more hands on the turn if you want to make delayed c-bets from time to time, which you of course would. Here I check the flop because it's basically just a flop he hits a lot, and if I had a backdoor flush draw, it would probably sway me towards betting. But as it is, I'm just gonna give it up. So I'm assuming most people watching this video will be out in Vegas, if not now, some point soon. And let me tell you, it's getting pretty hot this past week. The weather was, I guess, colder than normal, but I still found it to be quite warm. And now temperatures are reaching 100, 110. And this is my first summer in Vegas, so I really had no idea what to expect, but it's not so pleasant. This would be a good hand to 3-bet, but after I just showdown, actually, even though I just showdown flatting ace king, I'm gonna 3-bet just to see how he reacts. It's a good way to develop a feel for how your opponent thinks. If he doesn't believe my 3-bet here, it's clear he's thinking about, I mean, how I'm playing poker. Okay. With the speed of his 4-bet, I think that it's quite likely he just thinks that I just flatted ace king, so I can't have anything, which is probably more or less true. But I doubt that he's gonna 6-bet light, so I'm gonna go ahead and 5-bet, just assuming that he has a lot of hands that are bluffs that can't call or re-raise with. If he would have tanked a little bit more before 4-betting, I probably wouldn't do this, but the speed in which he did it just made it seem like he was just taking advantage of the fact that I just flatted ace king and probably don't have anything. Seems like the internet glitched here. Okay. So it appears as if my read was right. I certainly think his play is very reasonable against players who are not capable of 5-betting light, but with 200 big blinds, it's a good play to have in your arsenal. Here's a spot where floating the turn is not a terrible idea. Just gonna fold this 9-10. The reason it's not a terrible idea is because you have to expect that he's betting a lot of air when I check behind the flop. Possibly all of his no showdown hands, I'm not really sure. I'm just gonna check behind now that I have showdown value. Actually, no. When the flush draw misses, I think that there's enough one pair of hands he can call me with. Uh, be it ace deuce suited, maybe even just ace high. I do open myself up to getting check raised, but it's not really a spot where you're getting check raised often enough to give serious consideration to what you would do if it happens before you bet. Uh, so it might seem somewhat contradictory to want to float the turn, expect him to check fold the river a lot, and then bet once you make the pair. But it's not like he's check folding the river 100% of the time. It's only something that I'm trying to have happen uh, to make a profitable play. Like a little bit less than half the time, I believe it needs to work. Um, and then once he checks the river, I think that his range becomes nuts and air. I think if he bets pocket sevens on the turn, he bets him on the river 100%. Uh, so this is definitely one of the best spots to check behind. You have bottom pair, you have some showdown value, you have a backdoor flush draw. Lots of draws can check raise you off your hand because your hand isn't strong enough to bet call the flop with. So uh, eliminating one of the streets to play and playing the last two is definitely the move. No reason to bet here. He can check raise a lot of stuff on this turn, be it draws or hands better than mine. Maybe even king queen. It's not a play that I would make very often, but it would not be bad by any means. And I think my hand is still too weak to value bet the river with. You have to try to get him to call with ace high, and it's still possible he does better. Plus, it never hurts to see what your opponent's defending the big blind with. Okay, so he's defending quite wide. Though with the antes, I don't think it's really a mistake, or as much of a mistake as it would be without antes. Still, I think that he's probably better off 3-betting Jack 7 suited than calling with it. Let me check the lobby here and see if there's any other games. Excellent. There appears to be a 6-max game with 5 seats full. And the internet is lagging yet again. It's another thing about traveling a lot. You can never ever get good internet. I'm gonna go ahead and 3-bet the 7-8 off. Okay. This is extremely unfortunate. I'm having trouble moving this table into the area of the video. Okay. Go ahead and see that. And give me just one moment here. I should have everything set up correctly. Excellent. Okay. The reason I 3-bet here is because I had a good image at this table. So obviously a very easy barrel. Even if he knows I'm barreling this card a lot, he's still not going to call again with pocket sixes. I don't think he calls too many ace highs on the flop. And I would bet again with all of my tens to kings hands because it's just better than the alternative, which is to check, because then you don't really know what to do if he bets. And of course I'm betting all my air, so I might as well just bet those hands too.